Hello and welcome to all of you August babies. I'm Dr. Karen and I'm about to do a colour analysis for you for March 2026. I certainly hope that February 2026 brought you all of the things that you wanted, and that if you used the colours that were assigned to you from the missing colours list, that you would have had better results than you might otherwise have expected. Now, this month, I've decided to use an oracle deck from the runes. Now, this is a very interesting little deck. There aren't very many cards in it, but they certainly have a lot to say. And let's see whether their input will help guide you along your way through March 2026. So let's get started, shall we? Now, for those of you who watched my readings in February, you may have noticed that I'm no longer using cards. I can't shuffle them anyway. So instead, what I've gone for is a whole range of coloured circles. These give us the same information. They're a bit noisier, and I think they're a lot more fun. So let's get started. Well, August people, let's now select a runes card to go along with the colour reading. These are very slippery. And now I want 4 colours, 4 circles to represent what people born in the month of August will be dealing with throughout the month of March. I have 1, 2, I have 3, and there's a 4th. All right, let's have a look at what they tell us. Firstly, we have brown on brown. And then we have black on red, purple on blue, and finally, red on cyan. So, the energy that you're bringing with you into the month of March is brown on brown. You have been exceptionally busy. There's been a lot of energy put into setting goals, getting down and dirty, practical, working towards new skills and opportunities that will enable you to attain the very things that you are aiming for in life. Brown internally has been an urge, a drive towards a particular goal. Brown externally has to do with moving towards that goal by actually doing the tasks that are necessary. Now, altogether, brown on brown is a very slow, plodding sort of energy. It's a step by step. I do this, then I do that, then I do something else, and so forth, moving towards a particular goal. Accompanying that has been black on red. Now, black externally is time out. It's time for contemplation, for isolating yourself, from moving away from anybody else's input. So you actually have a solitary time. And because of this slow plodding activity that is here in the brown on brown, the black simply means that you probably kept a lot of what you were doing secret from other people. The red internally, however, shows there was a deal of frustration that goes with that. You weren't really 100% sure that what you were doing was in fact the way that you wanted it to turn out. You were hiding yourself, but you were also making a reduction in the amount of energy that you were expending. Red and black together, however, have always got to do with a sexuality issue. So there was also, are you doing something, whatever this goal was here, is this something that is in keeping with the way in which you present yourself to the world? Sexuality has got nothing to do with gender or sex. This is how you present yourself. Are you showing the world who you are through the activities that you are engaged in back here with the brown on brown? And together, these two sets of colours tend to suggest that there is a conflict here, that you are not really 100% certain that how you are presenting yourself is in keeping with the sorts of goals and tasks that you are engaged with. Coming into the future, we have purple over blue. Now, blue in turn is all about having to commit to duty and responsibility. There are things that you need to do, not just things that you want to do, which is what the brown is about, but things that you need to do, jobs that must be done because you're the only one that's capable of doing them. And in the real world, purple tends to suggest that there has been a lot of disruption to those duties. And that's probably as a result of what it is that you were doing back here with the brown, but also the way in which you're presenting yourself to the world. Are you, in fact, someone who can be relied upon to do everything that they need to do all of the time? Purple in the real world has to do with creation and destruction of energies. So are you, in fact, creating the sort of environment internally that is meeting your responsibilities by making changes in the real world? Are you asking others to do things for you that normally you would have done for yourself, for example? Underlying all of this is red on cyan. Now, red and cyan are opposites on the colour wheel. And as opposites, they tend to make you tread from one place to the other. So there's a swinging backwards and forwards between what the red represents and what the cyan represents. The cyan in the internal world is a need, a drive for peace and harmony and quiet and just being calm at all stages. But the red in the real world is requiring you to expend a lot of energy of actually taking risks. Now, that taking of risks can actually make you feel calmer because you've demanded that things settle down. On the other hand, that internal need for calm could also be that you're so frustrated and stagnant because nothing is changing in the internal world, that in the real world, the risks that you're taking, in fact, could be harming you. That's something you need to consider, because this combination doesn't necessarily bode well when you have it sitting directly underneath an issue of sexuality. Who are you? How do you represent yourself to the world? And does that sit calmly with how you have been seen in the past, for example, or how you want to be seen in the future? Let's have a look at the colours that are missing. See if they'll give us a guidance as to where we might go. You have black, there's no white. You have red, there's no yellow. There's no green, but you do have blue. You have brown, there's no orange. There's no grey, you have purple. There's no pink, but you do have cyan. So the colours that you have here, the black, red, blue, brown, purple, and cyan, are the colours of the skills that you are going to be using throughout the month of March. What you're not going to be using, and probably need to look at, are white, yellow, green, orange, grey, and pink. These colours, these 6 that are missing, are the ones that represent the skills that would help you to overcome whatever the issues are here that are coming towards you in the future. This need for having to deal with responsibilities in a way that doesn't actually make the world come crashing down. White is the colour of new experiences, of dealing with the unknown, suddenly finding yourself in a state of enlightenment and sometimes excitement, but usually a case of just a flash of something hit you out of the blue and you don't really know how to deal with it. Then we have yellow. Now, yellow is all about learning and memory and being able to digest information But it's also about having a great deal of abundance. So you feel as though you are cheerful, things are going well for you. Green is about being able to accept, recognize, and deal with any sort of opportunity that comes your way. There are new things that are possible in your life. How are you going to go about dealing with them? Are you even going to attempt it? Orange has to do with dealing with crisis, showing that you are confident and courageous and can overcome any trauma or issue that comes in your direction that you need to face. Grey is all about confusion and uncertainty, but it's also about finding a middle road. How are you going to straddle the opportunities that come towards you, particularly this opposite that you have here with the red and cyan? How are you going to deal with that particular issue? And finally, we have pink. Now, pink is a missing colour. It's all about vulnerability, but it's also about love. Are you able to simply settle back and allow somebody else to help, to assist, to impinge upon your life, regardless of what it is that you have got in your aims and ambitions? What it is that you want out of life, are you going to allow it to happen? The idea, of course, is to choose from amongst those 6 colours the one that's most appealing and the one that is least appealing. And having chosen those, add them to your repertoire so that you find yourself dealing with this issue of having to straddle the red and cyan, the action and the passivity, at the same time as you're dealing with your duty and responsibilities and the changes that are occurring as a result of the things that you have chosen to do and the way in which you've chosen to do them. Let's have a look at the runes to see what that has to say on the subject. Now, there's no way I'm going to pronounce that. This is gifts, both in the sense of sacrifice and of generosity, indicating balance. All matters in relation to exchanges, including contracts, personal relationships, and partnerships. So it all comes down to you. Who are you? What are you capable of doing? What do you need to do? And how do you straddle those 2 conflicting parts of yourself? It's up to you to make those choices. You'll notice that today's readings have been rather short, and that's because while these are being uploaded, I'm on my way on a 2-day trip, 4 days round trip, with an additional day down there to go and see the traditional Chinese dances. I've been waiting for this for a couple of years. Last year, it was a cyclone that prevented us from going. This year, I'm definitely going to get there. So, while I'm going to be enjoying that, I hope you enjoy the reading. And if you did enjoy it, please give it a like or maybe even comment. It always comes in handy for the algorithm. If you're new here and a bit confused, I'll leave a couple of cards at the end to give you some idea of what it is I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Until I see you again, this time for April's reading, may the colours of your life lead you exactly